Hey everyone, let's jump right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to uncover some seriously cool developmental secrets hidden inside an absolute childhood classic. We are looking specifically at how to create the Captain of the Paper Seas hat. Now, I know it sounds like just a bit of simple fun, but trust me, there is a whole world of foundational learning folded into this everyday activity. So grab your imaginary spyglass because we are setting sail.
So, let's kick things off with part 1, Paper Captains.
You know, to really get kids engaged, we can't just hand them a piece of paper and give them dry, boring instructions. We have to completely capture their imagination and invite them to become actual captains of the paper seas. Because context is literally everything. When you create a whole world for a child to step into, the learning happens so naturally it's almost like magic. So, channel your inner buccaneer for a second. Imagine enthusiastically saying to a kid, "Weigh anchor! The wind is in our favor and we need a hat that can withstand the newspaper waves. Put it on straight and look for the treasure in the living room." This exact script from our source material acts as the ultimate hook. It's theatrical, it's super exciting, and it completely immerses them in imaginative play. In their minds, they aren't just doing some craft, they are prepping for a vital mission on the high seas.
Which brings us right to part 2, the map, step by step. Okay, so now that our narrative hook is totally set and the crew is fully on board, we can transition smoothly from the imaginative realm into the actual building phase. And what's absolutely brilliant here is just how accessible this project is. It keeps frustration super low and engagement high. Just look at the materials required, a double sheet of newspaper and some tape. Honestly, that's the whole shebang. You don't need some expensive, overly complicated kit. We're taking the most everyday, simple stuff and transforming it through focus and imagination. It's a great reminder that some of the absolute best learning tools are probably sitting right in front of us on the kitchen table.
Let's quickly walk through the actual building phase chronologically using these incredibly charming step names from our source. Step 1 is the Great Sheet. Basically, you take your double sheet of newspaper and fold it right in half to create a neat rectangle. Step 2 is the Little House Roof. This is where you take those top corners and fold them down toward the center until they touch, so it looks exactly like a house with a roof. Step 3 introduces the Wings. You take that bottom strip of paper, fold it up towards the roof, flip the whole thing over, and do the exact same thing on the back. Finally, step 4 is the Admiral's Reinforcement, where you just pop a little bit of tape on the corners so the ocean wind doesn't blow your new hat away. 4 simple, highly tangible physical folds.
Moving right along to part 3, the real treasure, learning.
All right, so we've got our hat, and the kids are off hunting for treasure in the living room. But let's shift gears for a second. Let's peel back the curtain and look at the actual science behind the fun. Because this craft, it's really just a vehicle for something much deeper. While the kid thinks they're just getting ready to sail the newspaper seas, this activity is fundamentally a massive workout from motor planning and spatial awareness. Motor planning is basically the brain's ability to conceive, organize, and carry out a sequence of unfamiliar actions. When a child looks at a flat piece of paper and has to figure out exactly how to manipulate it with their hands to achieve a specific goal, their brain is doing some serious heavy lifting.
And let's break down the specific concepts a child masters just by manipulating the paper through the steps we just outlined. They are actively processing and executing concepts like up, down, corner, and fold. But here's the kicker. They aren't just hearing these words. They are physically feeling them and seeing how their own actions completely change the physical space around them. Taking a corner and bringing it down to the center to make a fold is a highly complex spatial task that's been beautifully translated into child's play.
And this brings us to the ultimate value of this entire activity, basic origami, or paper folding. This directly connects these playful little paper folds to the foundational elements of geometry. Think about it. When you fold a rectangle into a triangle to make that little house roof, you're demonstrating actual geometric principles in real time. You're teaching symmetry, angles, and shapes, and you're doing it all without ever making them crack open a math textbook. It's kind of amazing, right?
Which leads us to this final thought to wrap up today's Explainer. Who would say that the first step towards geometry begins with a simple pirate hat? It's just such a brilliant reminder for all of us that play really is the vital work of childhood. The most profound educational value can so often be hidden within the absolute simplest, most fun activities. So the next time you have an old newspaper lying around, remember the treasure trove of learning just waiting to be unfolded. Thanks so much for joining me today, and keep exploring.